What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Captain Finance here, coming live from room 38. Thank you to my subscriber. Not plural, because I have one. No, I have like 4 or 5. No big deal. Today we're going to be walking through an activity called the car log, where we buy a crappy-ish used car, save money while we're driving said car, and then trade it in for a less crappy car. And then we'll repeat that a couple times and see where we end up. So, this is going to be a class example, and then the class will do it on their own. So the first part is, when we talked about saving, we talked about saving up and using a sinking fund. And like we all came up with all right, well, I can save $100 a month for the next year, and then when I turn 16, I can buy a car. So let's pretend you did that. So you saved $100 a month for 12 months. So you had $1,200. Okay? So that is your sinking fund for car one. So this is when you're hopefully 14, 15, maybe 16. This is you planning ahead because of your favorite finance class. And then when you turn 16 and you need to buy the car, you take your $1,200 that you saved and you go buy a 1995 Dodge Neon with a gabillion miles on it. A 1995 Dodge Neon, let's say, costs exactly $1,200. Okay? So, you take the money you saved. You go buy the car. Now, you think to yourself, I don't want to drive this car for the rest of my life. I would like to get rid of it in approximately 12 months. You can obviously change this if you want to 24 or 36 or 21, however many months you want to drive the Dodge Neon, so like 1 month. But the longer you have to save, the more you will save. So let's say you get a job and you're making like, $8-9 an hour, working after school every day, maybe 20 hours a week, something like that. And you decide you're going to save $200 a month. So this would be pretty aggressive. This is, you're working on the weekends, you're busting your butt. So you buy the Dodge Neon. You're driving the Dodge Neon to work. People are laughing at you at stoplights. You're like, yes, I know, I drive a Dodge Neon. If any of you guys drive a Dodge Neon, I'm sorry. So for 12 months, you have $200 saved per month. So how much do you have total saved? $2,400. Good. Now you take car number one, which is our Dodge Neon, and you're going to sell it to a dealership or to a person. Because of depreciation, when you buy something and then use it, it loses value. However, this Dodge Neon has been depreciated a lot. So if you bought a car for $1,200 and used it for a year, what could you maybe sell it for? $800, $1,000, somewhere around there. Let's say $800. Okay? It's not like it's going to depreciate to zero, because for somebody, somewhere, that car is valuable because it has 4 wheels and an engine. So how much do we have now to go buy car number 2? We add these two together and we have $3,200. Hey, that's not too bad. So with $3,200, you start looking on Craigslist and you buy a 2001 Ford Ranger. Okay, got a little truck. Now, it's got a gabillion miles on it. The AC doesn't work. A little bit of rust. But hey, it's a nicer used car. You spend $3,200 on the Ford Ranger. You say to yourself, hey, this Ranger's pretty cool. My buddies are like, whoa, you got a new car. What happened to the Neon? And you're like, oh, I got rid of it. No big deal. I'm flipping cars now. So you got your Ford Ranger. And let's say you want to save the exact same amount. So now you're into like your senior year. You're still working. Obviously, this number is going to vary for all of you if you play a bunch of sports or if you don't have a job. Let's say you do $200 for 12 months. So you got $2,400. If you drive a 2001 Ford Ranger for a year that was worth $3,200 when you bought it, what can you get for it later? Yeah, let's say 26 for easy math. Let's say you sell it for $2,600. You got 24 saved. You got 26 for the truck. That means you have $5,000 now for your car number 3. Now you're headed off to college. Okay, this has been 2 years later. You're headed off to college, so you need something with low gas mileage, or gets good gas mileage, maybe lower miles. And so what do we get? Someone give me something that we can get for 5 G's.
Chevy Malibu.
Perfect. Chevy Malibu, and it's a $5,000 Chevy Malibu. It's a 2009. So we're moving up in the world. I think I spelled that right. 2009 Chevy Malibu. Now you got AC. Now you got not heated seats, but heat. Maybe you have the automatic seats or windows. So you're moving up in the world. Pretty nice. Now you're in college. You're driving a $5,000 car that you paid for yourself. So you're going to ride this Malibu for 2 years. Now you got to college. You got to find a new job. Let's go ahead and bump back the amount we save to like $150. Maybe your freshman year, you don't work the first semester. Maybe you work less. Maybe your wage is not as good. So $150 for 24 months would be $3,600. So you save $3,600 and you're at college, and then during your second year of college, because this is for 24 months, your best buddy's like, yo, spring break, Florida, you in? And you're like, well, I don't have any money, and my crazy teacher told me not to use credit cards. They're like, what about that car fund? And you're like, all right, yeah, let's do it. So you spend $600 for spring break just for fun. Woo! And you have a great time, and it's the trip of a lifetime. You and your best 5 or 6 people, you go down and you go to Florida, and it's beaches and sun and wonderfulness. But your car fund took a hit. So now it's 2 years later. You got to sell the Malibu. How much are we going to get for the Malibu 2 years later? It's probably held its value a lot, especially if you're not driving it in college a lot, not a whole lot of miles. Let's call it 42. Okay? So you sell it for $4,200. You saved $3,000. So now you've got $7,200. That's not bad. $7,200. Now you're going to go out. You're finishing up college. It's your last 2 years of college. You want something a little bit nicer. So what do we buy for $7,200? A Ford Fusion. Well, it's kind of like a sedan. Let's get an SUV. Maybe like a Ford Escape or something.
Yeah.
2012 Ford Escape. The old body style, not the new body style. Yeah, I don't like the new one. Mr. Becker drives one. What a nerd. Don't tell him I said that. Or link him this video. And timestamp the time where I make fun of him. All right. So you spend $7,200 on the Ford Escape. Then it's your third and fourth, or maybe just your third year of college, fourth year of college, whatever. And you got a raise at the place you're working, and you're loving it, you're happy, it's good, it's wonderful, and you decide you're going to save $300 a month. And you love the Ford Escape. So you're doing this, and it's going well, and you're like, Well, my car log says I got to get rid of the Ford Escape, but I don't want to. Let's keep rolling with the Ford Escape for another year because it's awesome. It's a nice SUV. Are you allowed to do this to your own personal car log? No. Thanks, Tolan. Yes. Oh, I just called you out on YouTube. Now all of my subscriber is going to hear that. Shout out, Mom. Thanks for watching. All right. So you're saving $300 a month for 24 months. That's the equivalent of $7,200. Boom, math. Okay? You have $7,200 and you sell the Escape. You give it a hug on the way out. You're like, I miss you. You've been great to me. Because you sell it for $6,200. Okay? It depreciates a little bit. Not enough? Too much? Too much? Oh, we depreciated it too much. Let's say you get 62. So now you have $7,200 in the bank sitting waiting for you. $6,200 in car trade-in or car sale value. You add those together, you got $13,400 hundo. You could go buy a brand new Ford Fiesta for $13,400. You could do it. Now, you're not going to get a lot of street cred in your Ford Fiesta. Sorry, Ford Fiesta users. But you could buy a brand new car with $13,000. Now, it's not going to be a nice car, but it would be a brand new car. So, how many times throughout this entire example did we have to write a check to our car financing company? How many times? 0. How many times were we worried about our payments? 0. Never. How many times did we use our money for something that we wanted to use it for? Once. Is that okay? Sure. Like, you could take this idea and go back up to the top and be like, nah, I'm going to run this car into the ground. Boom. 48 months, 4 years I'm going to drive this car. And you do the math and you get, I don't know, $8,400 or something like that. And then just run with it. And then when you sell it for like $100 to your neighbor and you're like, hey, sorry, it's not very good. Like, you can manipulate these numbers any way you want. And the bottom line is, at the end, you're going to have some money to go buy your own car. You don't have to worry about a car payment. You don't have to worry about interest. You don't have to worry about a down payment. Does your FICO score matter at all in this example? No. Not at all. Okay? So, if you want a sweet ride like this, I'm not, that's the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. You guys seen that? Now it is. Okay? If you want a sweet ride paid for in cash, do this, and you'll never have to worry about a car payment or a FICO score ever. And with that, it's your boy, Captain Finance, signing off. You guys keep it financially classy out there. Bye.